Thank you very much and welcome to all of you. Lisa and I are very excited to present to you today our session on powerful document automation in D365 and M365. And as Raz already mentioned, we will focus on Dataverse today, but we'll also go into detail on Power Automate and our Power Apps integration. So yeah, my name is Narina. I'm business technology evangelist at dox42. And luckily, Lisa is with me today. She's actually really sitting across from me, so that's great also. And yeah, Lisa, could you please introduce yourself?
Of course. Thank you, Narina, and hi and a warm welcome from my side. I'm Lisa. I'm Senior Technical Evangelist. I've been with dox42 for more than 5 years. And very happy that together with Narina, we will show you all the amazing stuff on how you can automate documents from Dataverse, Power Automate, and so on.
And Lisa is definitely the expert on Dataverse and CE integrations in our team. So she will show you everything in a live demo, and it will be fantastic today. But before we dive into our agenda, actually, we want to tell you a little story about how we really like the Power community. We have been, before Corona hit, we have been many conferences, but we've also done a lot of online conferences in the meantime. And the one thing that we always bring with us is a Lego set. And today we also brought it for you. So when you scan the QR code, you will fill out some very hard questions. They won't be so hard if you really listen to our presentation today. We will show it at the end again. So if you have trouble now, you can still do it later. And then you just fill out the questions, leave some information, and you have the chance to win this really great Luke Skywalker helmet delivered to your doorstep. So we're very excited to give this Lego away today. And we're also looking forward to more on-site events again in the Power community, so we can actually talk to you in person also again. But yeah, enough of that. Let's start with the agenda. Lisa's gonna explain what document automation actually is and where dox42 comes in to help you solve the problems of creating documents in your systems. And we're just going to do a little bit of theory, but then we're going to jump right into the live demo. So Lisa's going to show you sales quote automations from Dynamic CE and also our Power Automate connector and the template design. And I'm going to take over and show you some HR documents from Power Apps and SharePoint as well. And then we'll leave enough room for a Q&A at the end, of course. All right, and before we start, we actually wanted to know, do you already know dox42? So we have prepared a short form, just scan the QR code, and you will be taken to really just one question, fill it out, send it to us. So we kind of can show you how many people already know dox42 and how much we go into the detail into our presentation. And I will open up this question here. All right, already coming in for responses. Okay, some people know us from the Power community. Great. You're already a dox42 partner. Also nice.
Who are you? Let us know in the chat which partner is it. It's always good to meet the community.
Yeah, but there are also some people who haven't seen anything about dox42 yet, so that's also great. All right, a few more responses probably coming in. But yeah, thank you very much for that. We will also have another question coming up later, so have your mobile phones ready. And yeah. So now I'll hand over to Lisa.
Yes. So someone asked for the questions in the chat. The next one we will also post in the chat, so you have more time to scan and ask. Good. So we know there are a few people from the community, very good, but also a few people who don't know dox42 yet. So it's always good to start with what document automation actually is. That's the topic we're covering today. So basically, all of us were using lots of different systems where we store lots of different data. So for example, we're using Dataverse, we have our tables there. Maybe you're using it in combination with Dynamic CE. Maybe you also have finance and operations there. So you store some invoicing information, you have account information. On SharePoint, maybe you manage your documents, you have pictures, and then you might also have somewhere some databases and some Excel files. So a lot of systems with a lot of data. And in the end, what do you do with that data? Or what's usually the outcome at the end of a process that involves data? It's documents. So for example, working with Dynamic CE, you have a lot of data, and one possible output is quotes, for example, generating quotes. From finance and operations, ERP, also a lot of data. You have supplier information, maybe you have your products there. You could create invoices. Then there are other scenarios where you would create emails, where you would have recurring presentations and so on. So on a daily basis, lots of data and lots of documents that are generated. So, and how we see how this actually the document automation of many documents each day is done in real life, we're going to see on the next slide. So probably we see that there's a lot of copy and pasting. So lots of our customers before they've worked with dox42, and I've also been quite guilty of using copy and paste. We always say the biggest competitor. Because creating documents with copy and paste, it can really be flexible and individual. I get it. You want to set up a quote. Okay, there's like some specific information you want to let the customer know. You're going to copy paste it in there. It does the trick. However, it is costly because it takes a lot of your time. So if you're a seller and if it takes you hours to set up quotes by copy pasting, it's going to take forever. It's cumbersome, and it's possible that you make mistakes. It happens to all of us. And then if you write, for example, 20K in an offer instead of 200K and someone signs it, not the best thing happening. And it's also only working 9 to 5. But that's what we see as a common scenario in real life. Then some companies say, yeah, copy paste not our thing. We do some automation, and then they work with macros, they work with VBA, maybe they have some apps for some simple automation. And that's also flexible and individual. Get some kind of automation and you've reduced the number of manual errors. However, here again, once you work with macros, you can only work on a client, it's 9 to 5. And the biggest thing is, what happens if the person that has actually set up those macros leaves the company? What about the adaptability? Who can take care of it? What about security? So security is more and more a really important topic. So it's probably not the best idea if you take document automation serious. Then the third stage we see in real life is where companies taking it serious and they say, okay, we're using Dynamics FO, BC, whatever, and we're doing SSRS document automation. So this is like the server-side automation. It works 24/7, so you're really independent of business hours, and you get some good performance with that kind of document automation. The problem is it's not flexible and individual at all, because there's a lot of programming involved. So you need a lot of developer resources, and that also means that it's corporately designed by IT. For sure, IT can do some good design, but usually you have like your design departments or your marketing departments that can do that. But if you work with SSRS, you need to program really everything, even where the logo is. So it's really not flexible, it's costly, and takes a lot of time. But that's what we see in real business life, what's happening usually when we talk about document generation or document automation. But now let's have a look at how this could look like with dox42. So as I mentioned before, there's like, if you go with SSRS, there's usually IT very heavily involved. For us, we see 3 different departments that are quite important when it comes to the document automation. Yeah, there's IT, but then there's also business and marketing. IT is very important because IT knows, okay, we're using Dataverse. Data is in that table. Data, we're using Power Automate, so we can use it for automation, for example. But then business, they are the ones that actually know about the content. They know what should go into the contract. They know exactly what the customer wants, what the customer needs, what should be in the quote. Business knows that and not IT. And then, of course, marketing also very important, because marketing knows about the corporate identity, which fonts are used, which logos are used, and so on. And in the end, a document is always a form of customer communication. So you want the documents to be looking nicely, looking good. So our philosophies, all three are important. IT is there for the background to set up the data structure, but business and marketing can set up their document and their templates themselves, because there's no programming involved. It's all based in Microsoft Office, so Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, which of course we're going to show you. Good, so that's our philosophy. And then a little bit about us. So dox42, we're a software company. We focus on document generation. That's all we do. That's our pure focus. And our USPs on the one hand side is the intuitive document design for complex documents in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So you get PowerPoint templates, but also Word and PowerPoint, and also the flexible integration. We're going to talk about that later, but basically you can integrate data from any system. We have around 550 customers around the globe, really from every industry. We don't have like a specific industry focus, because as you can imagine, documents are created in every company all around the globe. So that's an important topic for everyone. We have around 100 partners. 2 of them are here today, so I'm happy to see that. And also they're just a call for partners or interested partners. We are a pure ISV, and we're always looking for partners implementing dox42. We have a very good partner program for that. Our head office is in beautiful Vienna. And down on the bottom, you can see some of our reference cases. But we would like to introduce you to one special one, or one that's one of my favorite ones, actually, because I really love the products they're selling. It's Fraser Yards. They are actually providing services that you can charter yards and also purchase yards. So, and they use dox42 for setting up their documents. Of course, as you can imagine, they're selling like a high-priced product. So this yard could be 200 million or something. So of course the documents have to be of high quality. They have to look good, they have to look nice. And what they do is they use dox42 from Dataverse, from Dynamics CE, and they generate their quotes and also their brochures with dox42. You can see pictures of the document screenshots on the upper right corner of the screen. And here, so the data is Dataverse pictures and also like data coming from Dataverse, but the design has completely been done by marketing. So no IT was involved. Marketing was able to design the templates in Word and also in PowerPoint, and the customers just go in and click a button in Dynamics and generate the documents. It's a really nice scenario, and I hope one day that I can visit one of those yachts. Let's see.
Yeah, that would be a very nice business trip, I think. Going to Malta to look at the yachts. But yeah, like Lisa said, marketing actually did the templates. And how did they do that? They did it in Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So it's really easy. They are using the functionality they are already used to. And you actually see here on a screenshot, we will see it in live action in just a minute, but you see here the blue data fields are the placeholders for your data. So you just drag and drop them into your document and then click on generate. And on the right side, you see the finished product, the document, in this case, sales report. And you can also see we can integrate pictures, we can integrate data in form of graphs, also tables. So the design options are really limitless here in this scenario. And then you go into your dynamic system, for example, and just click a button and your report will show up. But Lisa will show you that in the live demo. So what kind of data can we actually integrate? basically anything. Dataverse, we're here today in the Dataverse Summit. Of course, Dataverse is possible. And as Lisa mentioned, also Dynamics FO, for example, or BC. But we also have integrations with SAP, so you can have a document with Dataverse data and SAP. It's also always possible to extend dox42. So we have some customers who build their own custom solution to integrate their data. But yeah, we're here for you today. So this is where our next question comes in. What technologies are you mostly interested in? Because we're here for the Dataverse Summit, but maybe you're interested in some of the other technologies as well. And I will actually open up this form again. Oh, something went wrong, of course. So let's see. Yeah, Dataverse, very good. Power Automate as well, perfect. Power Apps, very strong, nice. We also have Dynamics CE, and also BC, and FO, very nice. DocuSign as well, somebody, great. Other technologies as well, you can let us know in the chat what other technologies these are. SharePoint as well, great. Teams also. So yeah, basically everything, a good mix.
Looks like we've prepared the right things.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, even if we can't go into detail on BC, for example, we have a BC integration as well. And if you're interested in a live demo on that, just let us know. And we will connect you with our colleague who is the expert on BC as well. Okay, great. Thank you. That's many responses, 21 already. Great.
Oh, someone just wrote no love for SAP. One person said.
Yeah, one person.
Sending love to SAP.
But yeah, it's at the bottom, definitely. All right, jumping back into the presentation. Thank you very much for your answers. So also in terms of output, dox42 is flexible. So we have actually the dox42 server on premise and also as a cloud solution, dox42 online. And you basically, what you can do with the server is create any output. So you can do the standard, you can do PDFs, of course, but you can also, for example, attach your document to an entity in CRM, or you can open up a draft email, or you can actually send the email normal or via DocuSign or other electronic signature forms like Scribble. And you could also send it to a document management system like Develop, or store them on Azure Blob Storage. So it's really, like I said before, very flexible for your requirements. And what we will definitely see today is our integration with Power Automate and Power Apps. So dox42 can be integrated in basically any workflow. So we also have out-of-the-box integrations with other process automation tools like Nintex or Firestart. And we also have a dox42 premium connector in Power Automate, where you can actually set up flows pretty easily. But I think that's enough for the theory. Let's jump into the live demo. And what Lisa is going to show you now is a sales quote automation from Dynamics CE, and also what I just mentioned, the Power Automate connector, and how the template is actually designed in Microsoft Word. And then I'll take over and also go into detail on the Power Apps and SharePoint scenario. And if you have any questions in the meantime, just let us know in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer your questions.
And Norina, maybe restart your camera, your pictures frozen. Let's see. Works again. Good. but I think we heard and we saw all of the presentation, so it was good there. And now you saw my nice holiday background, but now going into D365 and showing you the first scenario, which is quote automation with dox42. So what are we having? We're in a Dynamics CE environment, and let's say in this demo scenario, I'm a salesperson and I'm selling solar panels. And what I want to do is that I actually want to now create a quote. The customer is interested. We've talked about the project before. There's been quite a project team involved, and now it's time to create the quote. So we set up the quote in our Dynamics. And what we have, we've added 3 products. So that's our solar panels, a panel holder, and the battery that's needed. We have the owner, we have the customer contact data, the pricing information, and so on. Now you can probably imagine that solar panels are quite a complex product, and creating a quote with just a table and 3 lines of products and without any description won't be enough. So if it's an expensive product, we really need to convince the customer. So we thought about what would be the best way to display this and to automatically generate a quote with some really nice and individual information. And we thought we're not just going to stick to data from CE, but we also want to integrate some further information the project team has worked on. So what we have done, we've taken here the quote ID and we've set up a folder in SharePoint with that same ID. And we gave the project team the possibility to upload their documents they've been working on for the customer. And let me just open them. And we can see we have 2 Word documents with a PowerPoint and Excel, but of course they could have also uploaded images, they could have uploaded PDFs, whatever they would like to include in their quote. And we see there's one, that's the description document, module type description. Let's have a look. So here we have our cover letter. So that's basically the introduction. We have a graph if there's even enough sunshine so that if it makes sense to set up solar panels. We have some pictures there, just some text. Then, for example, the technical team, they've been at the customer's premises. They've had a look on like how long it would actually take to install the solar panels. They're not working with CRM, they're just working with Excel, and they've made a calculation here. Here we can see here we have like a small, like really easy formula. But they don't work with CRM, they work with Excel, and they've uploaded that calculation. Then we have here an overview of the connection, how you actually connect your solar panels, how that works. It's a PowerPoint slide. And then last but not least, we also have marketing involved because, of course, they want to sell that product as well. So they give a small incentive. And here we can see that this is live data, so I'm going to change color here. Where do I actually find the color one? Can't see it. Okay, I'm going to make it italic, so we're going to see that also. Good, so that's like additional information we would like to include in our quote. And now me as the salesperson, I want to generate a quote and I want to do it the easy way. So what I do up here, I have dox42 integrated, and what I'm going to do is I can go here and now I can choose which action I want to perform. Remember the slide Marina showed you with the outputs. So here you can see if I want to generate the document and return it as a PDF, if I want it in docx format, if I want to generate it and store it automatically to SharePoint or to Teams, that works here. I could create a draft email, I could send it via email, I could attach it to CRM, for example. But first thing I want to do, I want to have a look and I want to generate the document and return it as a PDF. And that's happening now. So I clicked on generate. Now dox42 online, that's our cloud solution. That was actually a call was sent to there a dox42 Word template was taken in the background, and our data from Dynamics and from those SharePoint documents was inserted into this PDF. And here we see the generated document. Up here we have a logo coming from Dynamics, address coming from Dynamics, also a dynamically generated QR code. Here, remember, this was actually the first Word document. Inserted here, and it looks like we've really copy-pasted it in, but it really fits here perfectly. It was inserted automatically. That's a product table with our products from Dynamics CRM and also some pictures coming from Dynamics. And this down here, maybe you remember that as well. That was actually the Excel file we saw on SharePoint. And remember, I changed the hours from 15 to 10 before. It's also reflected here. That was the PowerPoint slide inserted here as a picture, and that was the other Word document. And also here I changed it to italic, and here we can see that it's also in italic. So we see quite a nice looking document, and all I had to do was to click a button and get the document returned. And of course, I could also say, okay, I don't just want to return a document, I want to do something else. I could also, for example, work with the dox42 pop-up integration here, and I could say I want to dynamically select with which template I'm going to work, and I want to generate the document and I want to send it by email now. Okay. Here I could also dynamically choose a format. I say I want the document to be generated as a PDF in the email sending. I click on OK. And now document gets generated, and it will not be returned to me, but we will see it in my inbox.
We have a question in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
Does dox42 support watermarks in PDFs especially?
Yes, dox42 supports watermarks. So basically also in a design in Word, you can just simply opt to add a watermark, and then it will be added with whatever data field you're choosing. It also works. Thank you for the question. And in the meanwhile, the email actually arrived. So you remember I clicked on send email, and here we have our email buddy to Michaela, who is our contact in CRM. We have the quote ID, here we have our salesperson, and in the attachment, we have the document again, we see. So that was with the email action. And actually this email body, that was also a dox42 template. So we designed also the email body within Microsoft Word. That's just like for that, by the way. Good. And so those are a few different options on how you could, for example, automate sales quotes with dox42. And now I think it was a really nice looking document, but me as the salesperson, I'm looking this through and I see, okay, we have 20% discount here for the customer, but I still have to hit my numbers. So I'm not going to be as generous. I just say they're going to just get 10%. Or should I be nice and give them 25? What do you think, Marina?
I think Black Friday is coming up, and yeah, so maybe we can do 25.
Good idea. Let's jump on the Black Friday train and do that. So basically, now I changed the discount to 25, and of course that needs to be reflected in my quote document as well, that now it's updated, and now that the latest version of the document contains the 25% discount. I could now go back and click again a button, but I actually don't need to do that, because in the background now, as soon as I change the discount here, a Power Automate flow was triggered, which regenerated my document and saved it for me on SharePoint. First, let's have a look at Power Automate, and we're going to see this Power Automate is having a Dataverse trigger. So there you can, of course, see we're working here with Dataverse data in the background. And we have, this is our Dataverse flow, and we're gonna see that this is 38 seconds ago and it already succeeded. We're gonna see the result soon, just for you to see. We have here a trigger, a Dataverse trigger. So when a quote is added, modified, or deleted, then the dox42 service is called. Here we're working with the dox42 custom connector. We have a premium and a custom connector available. And basically what we say here is when that happens, then generate the document and store it for me on SharePoint with some dynamic metadata. That's what's happening here. Also, the setup here is quite easy. We have an own wizard where you can click all of that together. And let's now see if that worked. And we're here in our SharePoint and we see that this has actually really worked, because we see about a minute ago, I modified, because we're working here with Azure Active Directory in the background, this document. Here we have dynamic metadata, and here we have our quote. And let's double check if I'm zooming in now. Ta-da! We have the document with 25% discount here. So with that, with using Dataverse, you can make sure that you, for example, always have the latest version of the document ready. Good. So much about how it looks like for the end user. They go in, click a button, get the document returned or generated, or that Power Automate do the magic. But now, of course, it's also important, how do we actually get there, that a document like that gets generated? And for that, we need a dox42 template. And the templates we're managing in SharePoint. And here we have a SharePoint library. And here we have lots of different templates. And I want my sales quote one. You see, it's a normal docx document. And I'm going to open it in my Word. And now we see a document with lots of blue data fields. Those are actually the dox42 placeholders. And I clicked on one and I can see, okay, this is the field name that's coming from a field called organizations and coming from a Dataverse/Dynamics CRM data source. Pretty cool. Here this valid to field, for example, this is coming from our sales quote data source, the field valid to, and here we see this has a special date time format. So here you could say, okay, I'll have the English UK format, I have German date time format, so you can really decide here about also the culture you're working in. And if I, for example, want to add a new field, I just say, okay, here I have my data sources, and I just double click and add a new field here, or drag and drop it into the document. And then I could say I want to make it bold and in whatever color to be displayed. Here, for example, this custom ID returned into a QR code. Here we said, okay, we're inserting it. It should be a barcode. It should be displayed as a QR code. And we're going to see again later, like that. Good. So everyone that's working with the dox42 template design will have the dox42 add-in in their Word. And here we can see a lot of different options we have. For example, the data map. In the data map, this is where you're actually clicking your data sources together, or without programming. Here we see in that template, we have data from Dynamics CE, but also data from SharePoint, Excel data sources, and the crypto data source to encrypt our connection data. But we also have other data sources. So if you use databases, if you use XML JSON, if you use SAP, so some love to SAP, we have our connector here, but also for FO and BC. Some of you were interested in BC. This is where you actually add the data, which you then have available to insert on the site. But of course, what you can also do is, say, for example, I want to change something here. I don't want to have this in orange. I want to have this in green. And then I want to see if it really looks good or not. I can always go here and generate my document locally. of course, now we have the demo effect. Let's try again. If not, I'm going to reopen the document. So, of course, we want you to know that all of this is live. So the demo effect happens sometimes. As we want to say, a reboot is always good, at least in German. This sounds funny sometimes to say that. But now it looks good. I clicked on generate. We connected now to our dynamics. To Dataverse, we can say, and we say we want to generate the quote for solar panels again. And clicking here, it's now going to return document in Word. And so you see the address block that turned into the address. That was our first Word document. This is now in green. Maybe we're going to change that back later. Doesn't look as nice, but for you to see. And for example, here, this field, we can see this comes from SharePoint. Remember, that was the Word document from SharePoint, and type Word document. We're inserting a Word document here. And just for you to see, down here, we're working with the dynamic table. So if you had 5 products, of course, the table automatically would expand to 5 lines. If you had 1 product, of course, the table would have only 1 line. And here also a condition. You see here we have the freight amount, but in the generated document there's not, because we put a condition to only insert the freight when there is one in the system, but there wasn't.
That was actually just a question from Joey, if you can have dynamic sections in a document, so that, for example, the value of a field in a Dataverse table determines whether or not a section is included in the final document. And will it auto update a table of contents section?
Perfect. I think the first part of the question I just answered, and just to quickly show you here, we said that this line should only be inserted if from our data source sales quote the freight amount is not empty. So here we see a condition based on data from Dataverse. And the second part actually leads me back to you, the table of contents and the HR scenario. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe first another question that came up. If dox42 supports custom fonts.
Yes.
So it says, I guess it should be possible to install custom TTF files in dox42 server so I can use it. Right.
Exactly right. You answered the question yourself. Whatever font you're installing on the server, you can then also use with dox42. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Lisa. And yeah, my camera unfortunately already went into weekend mode, so I'm very sorry. Yeah, black camera. I'm really sorry. But yeah, I'll jump over to Lisa for the end, so you can see me again. But in the meantime, I will actually take over and show you the employee contract scenario. And for that, I actually would need a volunteer that we can actually hire for our company. So if you could just drop me a name and an email address into the chat field, that would be very much appreciated. If not, I will make one up, but it would be cooler if we can do it actually live.
It's a fun exercise.
Yeah, so who wants to be hired at dox42?
You can have some really cool special deals, whatever.
And benefits also. You can actually also choose your salary, so that's pretty good. You can also come up with yeah, Homer Simpson.
Lucky Homer.
That works. That works. All right. Thank you very much. So I will share my screen. And you should see my Power App right now. Actually, that also would be possible, of course, on your mobile, but for the demonstration here, it's easier to do it via desktop. So what we see here is actually our employee contract list. So if I want to say hire a new employee like Homer Simpson, I'm gonna open up this plus here and I'm gonna insert the name, so Homer Simpson. and his email address. Thank you very much. And then we have the phone number. I'll just put in one. And now we have to decide for the position. So he either is hired as a developer, as a sales manager, or as a trainee. As I remember Homer Simpson, maybe he would be good as a sales manager to also do presentations like we're doing right now. So yeah, let's hire him as a sales manager.
What would it be like to have Homer on our team?
Would be fun, I guess.
Lots of donuts and
Yeah,
beer.
lots of donuts and beer, definitely. And always something to laugh at in meetings, definitely.
For sure.
And I would say we also put that in as a special agreement. He might want to have donuts all the time. So I'm gonna put that in. Donuts, I think that's how it's spelled.
Good that we have a small gym here in the office.
Yeah, definitely. You need to train off all these donuts. And the salary, well, I don't know what Homer Simpson usually earns, but I would say we are very generous. We're gonna give him 10,000 per month.
Nice.
I think that's nice. All right, that's basically all the information I need to hire Homer Simpson. Of course, this could be, you could have even more information here, but let's leave it at this. And now I can submit this new employee. And as you see, it actually ends up here in my list. And in the background, what is actually done, we trigger a flow that creates the employee contract and sends it to Homer directly. I'm guessing that email address might not really work, but luckily we have a HR employee. Her name is Michaela, and she should actually receive the copy of this contract. So I'm gonna jump into Michaela's inbox, and we see here also Lisa's sales quote. But let's see, it just is receiving, but it should come in any second now. And of course, you could also do other things with the document. You could say, okay, automatically save it to SharePoint already, or automatically send a Teams message to all your employees that you have actually gained a new employee. So that's very flexible, as we already said. And in the meantime, we already received the contract for Homer. So you see, we have here a personalized email message. So here, his position as sales manager is mentioned again, and we also have the contract. And if we open it up, see the logo of dox42 and his employee contract, you have the table of contents. So coming back to the question, yes, of course, it automatically updates the table of contents. So if I would have like 5 documents more here, policy for his donuts recipes, or I don't know, it would actually just collapse the table of content here. And then we have a QR code here, also no problem. And all the data is filled out automatically. So the date today, the 18th, is also filled in. He works 40 hours per week for his salary that I just entered. And here we also, coming back to the other question, actually have a dynamic section. So as he is a sales manager, he actually receives a laptop and a mobile phone. If he would be a trainee, for example, we edited here that a trainee, for example, doesn't receive a mobile phone. So this really pulls out the dynamic data and then inserts the text blocks according to your choice.
Cool. 1 free meal a day plus free donuts.
Plus free donuts. We have it here, free donuts for Homer. So yeah, I think he would have a good job with us. And here at the end, again, his sales remuneration policy. This is actually a Word document that is inserted into the document. And because some of you said DocuSign, I'm going to jump right into my SharePoint library, where we actually see that Homer Simpson is hired here as well. And I'm just going to refresh a second to be on the safe side. And now I say, okay, that contract looks great, everything good. I actually want him to sign it right away. So I actually send it via DocuSign. You see here, this is our SharePoint app. You can also create other calls here. But yeah, as you've seen, you can save it, you can open it, you can open a draft email, send it by email, what I just did, save it to other archiving systems. So yeah, it's basically up to you what you want to do. And when we jump right back into our inbox, we have again Michaela, hopefully also receiving the DocuSign contract. So it should come up here in just a second.
If someone really owns that email address, they will be confused.
Yeah, we might get a job offer back signed for free donuts. So I'm not sure how our boss would be too happy about it, but
yeah. Could just be if the address is actually not a real one, that there's like an error in the background and that it's not sending the email.
Could be. Yeah. But we can actually show you a different one that we just did here, for example. So this is how a DocuSign email would look like. So you have the document also here, and here it would say sign the document, and then you can actually go to DocuSign and just put your signature under it. So yeah, Lisa is probably right. We have some security built in that not everybody receives the email from DocuSign. All right, and that's it from our SharePoint scenario. Of course, there's much more to tell, but we're kind of short on time, so I will actually jump back to our presentation, and Lisa is going to give you a final overview on the benefits of document automation.
Yes, thank you for that. And we're gonna keep you posted if we have like a Homer actually working with us. So maybe next year we'll have a Homer with us. Can you just go back one slide?
My laptop is also going into weekend mode, I have a feeling.
10 more minutes laptop. But while Narina is trying to go back to the presentation, basically, so what have we showed you within the last 15 minutes? So we've shown you what is document automation about. We've shown you, okay, how we see it in real life and how dox42 can help solve those challenges. And here are like the main points we would like to summarize. So first of all, the design in Word, excellent PowerPoint. You saw the template I showed you in Word, so you can really easily set up your conditions. You can integrate your data from different sources, be it Dataverse, be it SharePoint, be it Dynamics of OPC, or even SAP. You can only sign it in Word. You don't need development resources for that. Secondly, the various output formats. So you cannot just generate a PDF version of the contract, but send it straight away to Homer Simpson, have him sign it straight away. And of course, you could also store it in your archiving systems. Then the flexibility. Most of you today were not just interested in one system, not just in Dataverse, but also in BC, in SharePoint, in DocuSign, and in others. That's how the reality is. We're all using different systems. And with dox42, you have the flexibility to really attach your document automation to all of those systems. Then I briefly mentioned that all of the demos that are happening with dox42 Online. So that's our cloud tool, and everything is secure in the cloud. We're hosting on Azure, and everything is always within the Azure tenant of the client. So dox42 doesn't store any data. intelligent and high quality documents. That's always like my favorite icon. What does that mean? It means that intelligent, of course, you can have like text blocks, you could have sub-Word documents, you could have calculations, conditions, dynamic tables, you could insert pictures and so on. All of that's possible. And of course, in high quality, like for example, the Fraser Yards brochure in the beginning, which I mentioned, one of our customers, high quality is very important for them. Of course, CI, you design in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Of course, you can add your up-to-date CI at any moment. It saves you time because once the template is set up, you just click the button, the document gets generated. And of course, you can avoid copy and paste errors, copy and paste mistake that happen to all of us, to the best of us. It's just normal. That won't happen anymore. And fewer templates is also always quite an important thing. So we have customers, like interested prospects, coming to us and say, we have 200 templates. How are we going to do this? And in the end, they have like a quarter or a third of them left because of all the intelligent, high quality documents you can set up. Good. That was the little summary. Now we have some more time for questions. Feel free to answer some more in the chat. Someone had also, I just answered yes in the chat, but someone had asked about if you can have a common header footer for all the documents. Of course, you can do that. So you can integrate sub and master templates in your dox42 templates, and like that you can have like your external footer, so to say, which you manage centrally. Any other questions or any feedback?
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Narina. Really, I think a lot of people enjoyed that, and definitely shows how it will definitely simplify a lot of the document automation requirements on projects by providing a simple interface for an automation engine as well. I love how it integrates so well with Power Platform to build out the workflow logic, because one of the main challenges you have is, well, where does all the logic sit for the automation? And so the fact that you've put it all within Power Platform actually now makes it kind of agnostic almost, if you think about it, because it's there and it's always there. So that's really good, and it can be edited very easily by anyone who's got access. So that's what I really like about that. There is a question by Joe, actually. Joe's just dropped a question in the chat there.
Yeah, about the pricing model, if there's a monthly fee and the cost per template or document. So dox42 pricing is modular. On the one hand side, there are the dox42 add-ins. Those are user licenses, but usually they're just a few users that would really design the templates. And then dox42 online, yes, that's a monthly fee, but that includes 100,000 documents each month and unlimited users and unlimited templates as well. So it doesn't matter if you have 500 users, 1,000 users, or 100, you can generate 100,000 documents.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to post that form again, the one that you posted earlier. Yep, there you go, guys. So make sure you enter yourself for a chance to win dox42's Star Wars Lego. Dox42 are well known for being the pioneers of Star Wars Lego for community events. So here's your chance. Very nice Luke Skywalker Lego Star Wars. So your chance to win that. So you just have to scan that barcode. I've shared the link as well to the form. Get involved in the community, get connected, and yeah, don't miss out on this opportunity. So I just want to thank Lisa and Narina again for a great session, great educational session. I think education as well is very important, because a lot of the time people don't know how to go about solving a particular problem. And there's so many different ways to solve a problem, but what Narina and Lisa have done is that they've actually showed you how to solve that problem by using certain templates. You can store those templates wherever, whether it's in SharePoint or in a custom templating tool. It supports both, and then showing you how to generate and customize templates, how to automate those templates using various workflow mechanisms available in Power Platform across Microsoft 365. All of that. So well done, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for supporting all the community events. And yeah, and next year we're going back.
Great summary always.
Yeah, and we hope to see you in person next year. We're going back to in person, so we hope to see you all in person next year. So that'd be great. So any final comments, Lisa, Narina?
If you want to contact us, we're always here. Just connect with us on LinkedIn or send us an email. And there are also possibilities to try dox42 for free. So yeah, just let us know.
Exactly. And Narina to come here, so you see we're really in one room.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Of course, you can we can do a personalized demo with like one-on-one base with you, and you can get a free trial as well. And thank you.
Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Excellent, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Awesome. Fantastic. There you go. There was Lisa and Narina from dox42. Thank you so much.